Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is True Crime Tuesday yet again, and today we will be talking about a gruesome murder case that was fueled by jealousy. Today we will be talking about the murder babes that took Thailand by storm. Also, just a disclaimer before I start this video, Thai names are quite difficult to pronounce, so if I butcher or mispronounce some of these names, please do not come for me. Thank you. Warisara Klinjui, or better known as was a 22-year-old girl from Thailand. Now, despite her young age, she was actually already married to her 35-year-old husband, who was always away for work-related matters. Now, her husband worked as a contractor and would often travel around Thailand for work. And because of the boredom that she felt whenever he wasn't around, asked her husband for permission if she could start working at a nearby karaoke bar as a hostess, to which he agreed to. However, not long after starting at her new job, gets involved with another woman who also worked there as a hostess, despite being married to her husband for only 3 months. Now, Am's husband was aware that she was working as a karaoke bar hostess. However, I am not completely sure if he knew the extent of her job and that she was also dabbling into sex work. Allegedly, her husband also knew of the affair but did not really pay attention to it, so Am was able to successfully live this double life until she went missing on May 2017. Now, this is where I got really confused while doing my research because every article I saw had different dates on them. So I won't say the specifics when it comes to that. However, sometime around mid-May, the woman was having an affair with contacted Am's mother, saying that she hadn't seen or heard from in a few days. Her mother then filed a missing persons report 2 days after this call, but sadly, Am's remains were found the very next day. Her now decomposing remains was discovered by a farmer who had complained to the authorities regarding a foul odor lingering in a wooded area, seemingly coming from a disturbed patch of land. And once authorities started to dig up this very shallow makeshift grave, they discovered 2 bins, one containing Am's head, arms, and torso, and the second with the lower half of her body. Now, I'm not sure if her hands were found, however, her hands were cut off from the rest of her upper body. The body was identified right away as the 22-year-old because of a very distinctive tattoo that was on her chest area. And because of the nature of her work and her double life, anyone could have done this. People suspected it to be her husband who did it out of anger, or a client who was very sadistic in nature. Because sadly, these unfortunate things do happen to sex workers a lot. However, just a few days later, authorities revealed who actually did it, and this news shook the whole nation. On the night that went missing, she was seen getting in a car with 3 of her co-workers: Preeyanuch Nonwangchai, Apiwan Sataya Bundit, and Kawita Rachada. This was the last time was ever seen alive. And even more suspicious, all of these girls seen with went and fled to neighboring countries the day after she went missing. Police also discovered that and Preeyanuch Nonwangchai were having constant arguments because owed Nonwangchai and her boyfriend 1,500 Thai baht after not paying the drugs that she bought from them. And this became an even bigger issue when reported Nonwangchai's boyfriend to the police for dealing drugs. Now, she ratted them out, and there is obviously a motive here. And a few weeks later, the 3 suspects, or the 3 girls that were last seen with were finally found in Myanmar. Days prior to their arrest, CCTV footage showed these 3 women shopping at a local mall, seemingly unbothered by what they had just done back home in Thailand. All three suspects were flown back to Bangkok right after they were arrested. And without much questioning, Nonwangchai willingly confessed to what she says was actually an accidental murder. According to her, she decided to do this to get revenge on for ratting her drug-dealing boyfriend out to the police. But her original plan was to take somewhere secluded and beat her up to teach her a lesson. But obviously, things didn't go as planned because ended up dead. Now, based on the suspect's version of events, at around 1 a.m. that night, they lured into a rental car by telling her that there was a work opportunity for them as a group and that it would make them a ton of money. Then gets into this car along with the three suspects, and this is when the confrontation began. One of the girls put a plastic bag over head while Nonwangchai started to beat her up, expressing how angry she was at for telling the police about her boyfriend's drug dealings. According to Nonwangchai, spat back by saying, "If I survive, then you die." And this angered Nonwangchai even more, which resulted to her strangling in a fit of rage. In a panic, they all decided to call up two other friends, a couple, and brought to a motel where they chopped her body up in half, putting it into bins, and quickly left after without paying nor even cleaning the scene. They then drove off to a wooded area near a resort and dug up a shallow grave in a hurry, afraid that someone might see them. The next day, all three girls drove off to Myanmar while the two accomplices, the couple who helped them with the sewing and the discarding of the body, Wasin Namphron and Jidarat Promkun, drove off to Cambodia. Now, this couple was also arrested a few days later and were brought back to Thailand as well. Initially, 25-year-old Nonwangchai was sentenced to life imprisonment. However, this was reduced to 34 years and 6 months due to her cooperation with the police. 26-year-old Kawita Ratchada was also given the same sentence, while 29-year-old Apiwan Sataya Bundit was given a 33-year and 9-month sentence. 22-year-old Wasin Namphron will serve 23 years and 5 months for helping dismember and dispose of the body, while his girlfriend Jidarat Promkun will only serve 1 year for taking cell phone and selling it after the murder. A compensation of 1 million Thai baht or $33,000 will also be given to Am's family. Now, you might be wondering why this case was so sensationalized in Thailand and its neighboring countries, aside from the fact that it was a very brutal murder. It's not because of the girls' involvement with sex work. It's not because of the short prison sentences that were received. It's actually because these girls were seen as local celebrities. They were nicknamed the Thai Murder Babes because of their good looks. Photos of the three suspects smoking cigarettes, applying their makeup, and doing their skincare routines were circulated online. Along with these, there were also photos of them smiling and posting with local authorities that went viral. And although there were a lot of people that thought that this was insane and that these girls shouldn't get any special treatment and should receive maximum punishment, there were also a lot who even supported and idolized them. Some of their fans even justified Nonwangchai's actions because she was allegedly a dutiful daughter who came from extreme poverty and worked her way up, supporting her family and even building them a home from her sex work and drug deals. These girls became so popular that merch inspired by them were even created and sold, one of which was a sock keychain with their photo on it. The pillows, clothes, and accessories they wore were also selling like crazy. And on a crazier note, Nonwangchai became even more famous when her nude and provocative photos started to circulate online. She became an instant celebrity because she strangled her coworker to death. I already said this in some of my previous videos, but I just don't get it. I can't grasp the concept of people romanticizing and idolizing someone who is capable of such heinous acts. Maybe some people just find these things amusing in a very weird and creepy way. And I guess that's where I'll end today's video. Thank you so much for listening to Am's story. If there are any other cases that you would like for me to cover, please let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.